Hey guys, welcome back to Sound Advice Episode 2. Thank you to everybody, first of all, who tuned into the first episode, who listened to the podcast online, to those of you who watched on YouTube, and especially thank you to everyone who gave us their opinions and their thoughts, suggestions, recommendations, constructive criticism, everything. We appreciate it. We asked for it and we need it. You'll notice the set is a little different this week. We're experimenting. Right?
We are.
We're not professionals. We're DJs.
We're not. This is a work in progress.
Yes, we're not professional YouTubers yet.
Exactly.
It's only episode 2. So, but we're gonna keep tweaking things until we get it right. So, but we appreciate everybody who was involved in the first one. But we're back for episode 2. We're gonna kind of recap what we talked about last week a little bit, get into some newer things, share some of our experiences. But first things first, as promised, every week. Every episode, we're going to be featuring a new. I originally said a new bourbon or whiskey. Mike and I talked. We're fans of the Caribbean. We love Jamaica, so we're going to add rum into the mix. Not today, but just know if you like rum, we're going to be giving some good recommendations.
Oh yes.
This week is Traveler's Whiskey. It's just a Kentucky whiskey. I had never heard of it until today, and it's very smooth. So it doesn't have a lot of fire, a lot of burn. Traveler's Whiskey. Cheers.
Cheers.
I hope there's no laws against drinking on camera
That's
when you're on
delicious.
YouTube. It's very good.
It's very good.
Gonna give a shout out to our buddy Blake. He and his dad own a restaurant called Hoosier Q down in Foxcliff Golf Course in Martinsville. So if you're ever down there, play around the golf at Foxcliff, stop into Hoosier Q. They can now claim, I believe they have the claim of the largest bourbon selection.
Over 800 bottles.
Over 800 bottles of bourbon they have there. So you got to check them out. Blake and his dad and their whole collection, they're the ones supplying us with all these different bourbons to try every week. So
shout out to them, man.
We're very appreciative to them for helping us out. So jumping into it, we had a good chat last episode. We talked about prioritizing. That was kind of the big thing. And I just want to recap that. I had a chance, since we recorded the last one, I had a chance to talk to a couple planners, a couple photographers at weddings that we do, and told them, hey, I like what you guys are doing. We like your podcast. And I told them about the whole topic of prioritizing, and they couldn't agree more. So I'm getting validation from other vendors that prioritizing is so important. And like we talked about before, to be able to get the vendors you want, and the venue you want, the vendors you want, and to put those in the proper order. Not to just jump in and start spending money willy-nilly. Figure out what's important and focus there first.
Absolutely. Another thing we talked about too last time was high importance is doing your due diligence on reading reviews. Not so much on the vendor's website, because a vendor's website, the owner of that website has the ability to post whatever they want to post on there.
We do it.
I do it.
Yeah.
You do it. So you want to make sure that when you're looking for the reviews, go to a certified website that only specifically has reviews that the vendor can't alter or remove or delete. Exactly.
Yeah.
So your Google reviews, Wedding Wire, The Knot are the big ones out there that the people can go to as well. So do that. Make sure you're reading those reviews. That's a great resource, because a lot of times bride and grooms may not have been to a wedding in a long time. They don't have siblings that have been married recently.
They're relying 100%.
They're relying, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And as we hit on last time too, when you walk into a venue or you talk to a photographer, they're going to tell you who they think is good because it makes them look good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me back up. It makes them look good. Kind of like, there's nothing wrong. We mentioned that we'll put on our websites, we'll put the good reviews on there. Any vendor will do that. That's not a bad thing. It's not a dishonest thing. It's putting our best foot forward.
Yeah.
We want you to hear from people who really were happy. A photographer, if she gets accidentally some bad pictures at a wedding or some blurry shots, she's not going to post those. She's going to post all her good pictures. There's nothing wrong with posting your good reviews, but you can't rely on that, because again, if you go to Mike's page or my page, you're going to see all good reviews and be like, wow, these people don't have any bad reviews. full transparency, I have a couple bad reviews. From 16 years in the industry, you're going to have to. I know you have to have some bad reviews. For whatever reason, some people are unhappy. But when you start digging in, you'll find out a vendor with a website that has 20 or 50 great reviews. When you dig into a Google search of their reviews, you might be like, oh, they have 20 great reviews, but they have 20 more horrible reviews. So be very careful when trusting an actual website and go into that. And what you were saying about venues, venues don't want to look bad by steering you in the wrong direction.
Absolutely. They're not going to say, well, we really recommend these people, and then those people come in and do a bad job. It reflects on the venue as well. So they're not going to say or recommend you go with this person versus this person, because it's going to make them look bad.
Yeah, there are venues actually that, one that we've talked about here recently, that they actually have had some bad experiences with some DJs, and they have removed those DJs from their list because those DJs are not giving the service they need to give to their clients. And we don't want people in here who are subpar. Even though they have nothing to do with DJing, they're providing an amazing venue, an amazing experience. They want to make sure you as a bride and groom have the best of the best as well. So trust your vendors, trust your venues, not just vendors, but the venue you're at. They know, they've seen all the photographers come through, all the caterers, all the DJs, all the florists, and they're going to say, here's who does the best job. So
I love it.
You can definitely trust your venues.
Absolutely. Another thing we want to talk about too today is selecting your venue. This past weekend, we had Helene, the remnants of Helene.
We are in the Midwest. For those of you who aren't from Indy, we live in Indianapolis.
Yes.
So realize a lot of our friends are going to be watching this, but this is going to go out. So in case you're wondering, oh my gosh, are you guys in Florida? We're in the Midwest, but we got a lot of wind and a lot of rain.
A lot of wind, a lot of rain. So the importance of selecting your venues. Most couples today are doing ceremony and reception at the same venue. So you want to make sure that when you are looking for the venue, if you are going to go that route and not incorporate a church ceremony, find out with the venue if you're going to be able to do it outside. If they have backup plans as far as moving everything inside, like we had to do this past weekend. Both of them did. So just making sure that everything weather-wise, because weather, especially in Indiana, changes every 5 minutes.
Even without a hurricane, our weather is very unpredictable.
Yes, it is very unpredictable. So you just want to make sure that when you choose that venue, the flexibility that they have with moving things indoors if you do have inclement weather, and how you want that to look, because if you want a more of a scenic outdoor space, or if the venue just has like a partially covered patio outside, that you want to do something like with that. So just things to think about on that part. Go ahead.
If you're planning a beautiful outdoor ceremony in a beautiful space and then moving into just your traditional reception hall, that's fine. But what if the outdoor space gets rained out and you have to have your ceremony, your dream beautiful ceremony in a venue, just a standard venue? Then you're scrambling. How are we going to make this look pretty? So keep that in mind. In my situation, Friday and Saturday, Friday night, venue called the Sixpence. Shout out Sixpence up in Whitestown. We had to move everything inside. It's beautiful in there. It was not a horrible backup plan. And that's what I tell your couples. Your backup plan is still a gorgeous environment. Saturday's wedding, Mustard Seed Gardens in Noblesville. Shout out Mustard Seed Gardens. Same thing. We had to move inside. It is a beautiful barn in there. Absolutely stunning. It was warm. You got the dark woods. You have the amber lighting. And it was an amazing backup to being rained out, to have a dreary, miserable day outside. We had an amazing backup plan. Now, if you just have a banquet hall, you got to keep that in mind. If you get rained out, you got to think of what your backup options are going to be. So
absolutely,
yeah, we had to scramble this week, but again, we were in venues that worked, and thankfully I didn't have bridezillas. I don't know if yours was or not.
No.
My bride was, both my brides were as chill as could be. Absolutely. So always thankful for that.
Absolutely. And guys, as I mentioned in the first episode, don't get hung up on all of that, because at the end of the day, the vows are the most important piece of the day. 100%. Okay. All the other stuff is just a little bonus. All right. Of all the things that you're going to incorporate. So, I've had brides in the past who have been just devastated because they had in their mind that it was going to be a beautiful day, 72, sunny. They're going to do everything that they wanted to do outside. They're going to move inside, and then of course it rained, and they were devastated. And I had to pull them aside and actually had to sit them down and say, "Look, we're going to have a great time tonight, and it doesn't matter. Nothing like that matters. It's the only thing that matters is that you and your husband now are one person, and that is the only thing that's important." And people lose track of that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Just another thing of importance that we want to bring to this channel is that all things weddings, yes. But the most important thing with the wedding, of course, is the vows and becoming one person.
Yeah, for sure. What else we got? We were talking a little bit ago, topics for future episodes, and I was like, man, I think we've probably got a year's worth of topics.
Oh my God!
I thought before we started, I was thinking,
Crazy.
Are we going to have enough topics to keep this going? And the more we just sit and say we talk about this and this and this, each thing has 10 subcategories under that main thing. So we're going to be here a while.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I hope you guys are ready. We got anything else today?
No,
What else do we want to talk about today?
One little shout out I'd like to do for people who want to incorporate their pets. That's a big thing now. Big thing with weddings is people who want to bring in their dogs, especially dogs. I've had a few cats, but more than likely dogs. Eric with Your Day Dog Chauffeur was at my wedding yesterday. Shout out to Eric.
And he was at mine last week.
Yeah, look him up on Instagram. This guy's amazing. What he does, genius idea. But if you want to incorporate your pet, sometimes people don't even realize you can incorporate your pet.
Check with your venue.
Check with your
venue.
It's venue kind of specific on this. Make sure your venue is cool with it. Garment Factory, shout out to Garment Factory in Franklin. They were totally cool. They even let the dog come in, be a part of their grand entrance yesterday. I mean, it was incredible. The dog had its own wedding cake, for goodness sake. It was amazing. So, but no, I want to shout out to Eric. We're going to have him on in a future episode as well, so he can delve in and talk about all those kind of things as well. So,
and when I first heard it, I was like, a dog chauffeur? That's ridiculous. But I got thinking about it. Again, 16 years, 17 years in the industry, I've seen so many times where they want their dog involved in the ceremony or in something. Somebody, a guest at the wedding, has to go and get the dog, has to bring the dog there, has to then take the dog back home after the formalities are done, and then come back. And it's usually a close family member they trust that can work with the dog. So that's a pain to have somebody be gone that long. You have the dog chauffeur, he takes care of it all. None of your family or friends have to leave. He shows up when he's supposed to show up, have your moment, he takes the dog back. I thought about it, I was like, that is a brilliant idea.
Yes.
So
many cool things, guys.
And Eric he was at a wedding I did a couple weeks ago. And first time I met him, great guy.
Great guy.
He'll do great with your pet.
So many cool things, guys, where you bring this channel. We're going to wrap this episode up. But anything you guys want to talk about, anything that you've seen or heard of on socials or being at a wedding and you've seen it in person, that you really want to delve in and talk about, let us know, because this channel is about helping you and helping out the entire community with planning the perfect wedding. So, with that,
that's what we're here for. Until next time.
Until next time, guys. We will see you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.